Today we are going to be learning how to remove blemishes and apply makeup using Photoshop. So we're going to start out with an image which we have here, and you're going to use this actual image to remove blemishes. So we're going to unlock the image, otherwise you can't do anything with it. And then we're going to come over here and we're going to use the healing brush tool. Then you're going to put it on her face and click Alt on your keyboard and then left click with your mouse. And then everywhere you want to remove blemishes is going to use the color you just copied from the image. For instance, see this little scratch right here? We're just going to remove that. There's a freckle right here we're going to remove. Freckle right there we're going to remove. And right there. And right there. And one on her nose. And that's all I see. Here's another little one right there. Okay, and that's how you remove blemishes. Very, very simple. Other ways you can do it, you can also come to the same spot and you can use the patch tool. And how the patch tool would work, you would circle where the image that you want to get rid of is, and then you would drag it to another part of the skin that's clear, and then it would highlight it with whatever color you chose on that image. So there's two ways that you can remove blemishes. Okay, next we're going to apply makeup to the image, and we're going to start out by making a new layer. So you're going to come down here and click this little place right here. It's going to make a new layer. And we're going to name this layer Face. Okay, and we're going to make this layer Soft Light. And what we're going to do is we're going to put foundation on her face to start with. So the first thing we want to do is get a color palette that we want to use. So you're going to go to a part of her face that has nice color to it that you really like. And then I usually take and make the color that it selects just a little bit darker to kind of give her that smooth look. Now we're going to come over here and we're going to choose our paintbrush. And I like to use the oval shape paintbrush, which says paintbrush oval 45 pixels multiply, and then I make it a little bit smaller because it always comes out like really big. About 25 pixels is good. And the opacity is about at 35%. We're going to put that at about 40, and the flow is at 50%. Now what you're going to do is you're going to cover the image. This is applying your foundation. And while you're doing this, you don't want to let off the mouse. You have it left clicked right now while you're painting this. You do not want to let go of it and then start painting again, because if you do, it's going to leave a really long line and you're going to be able to see where you have painted over itself. So always make sure you keep the mouse, left click mouse down the whole time you're doing this. Don't let up on it until you're completely finished. It takes a few minutes to do this. Don't worry about it if you get it on the hair or on her eyes or anything like that, because we're going to use our eraser and we'll remove where we don't want it. Okay. That's before. That's after. Can't really tell much difference, can you? So let's try something different. Let's yeah, that's a little bit better. You can tell a difference now between before and after. Okay, now we're going to take the eraser and erase where we got the paint on her hair and her eyebrows and stuff like that. I don't take it off the entire eye. I just basically go over the eyebrows and then her hairline where it went on it, and then just on her eyeball and the whites. Just like that. Okay, so now we're done with the face. Now we're going to make another layer, and we're going to call this layer her cheeks. Actually, we're going to name this blush, because we're going to go ahead and put blush on her cheeks. I like to use a lot of rosary colors, like a pink or a red, and then just lower it, the color of it down a little bit. We're going to make this a soft light. We're going to bring the opacity down to about 70% for now, and then we'll go from there and see what it's going to look like. Also, you want to change your brush back to airbrush soft round 50% flow, and we're going to make this about 70%. And then you're just going to do a little bit of rosary cheeks here. Sometimes you can use darker colors, but she's like really light complected. I'm going to change this opacity just a little bit more to make it look more natural. Okay, now we're going to work on her eyes. So we're going to make another layer. And we're going to scoot that up to the top. And we're going to call this one eyeliner, because we're going to do our eyeliner first. Okay, and we're going to make this soft. Actually, we're going to make this overlay for right now. And I always use black because it shows up better, because we can take the opacity and lighten it up once we get it done. Then you're going to choose your paintbrush. You're going to continue using the airbrush soft round 50% flow, and we're going to use this really fine line. It's going to be like 1 pixel, and we're going to zoom the picture in so we can really get a good look at her eyes. And then you're just going to take this and you're just going to follow along the edge of her eyelid. On both eyes, and there again, you don't have to worry about if it gets in her hair, because we can take the eraser and take it out when we get done. Okay, and then we're going to do bottom. Now it looks like it's really, really light, so we are going to make this normal. See how it looks zoomed out. Probably could go a little bit darker. So what we're going to do is we're going to change our brush and move the pixel up one more. We're going to make this 2, and we're just going to go over it again, because I think it could be just a little bit darker. You don't want it to be too dark, but you want it to stand out to make her eyes kind of pop. And now we're going to make this overlay. Now the overlay makes it look a little bit better. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to make another layer, and we're going to work on her eyelids, her eyeshadow rather. So we're going to name this layer eyeshadow, and now we're going to choose what color we want to make her eyeshadow. Okay, so we're going to work on her eyelids and do her eyeshadow. We've picked this color right here, this little blue. And you want to use a little brush. I used 4 pixels with the same brush we've been using. And you're just going to take this and just kind of glide it over her eyelid. Okay, and we're just going to keep going over her eyelid and give us this little bit of color. We're using a really light color because she has really light hair. So you don't want to go too dark because it'll make her eyes pop too much. You just want to blend this off the edges a little bit, and I take it up on the underneath her eyebrow just a tiny bit on both eyes. like I said before, don't worry about it being on the hair right here, because we'll fix that when we get all done. That's when we do our final touches. Okay, let's see how that looks. Now it's a little bit too pink, so we're gonna back the opacity off on it just a little bit, just to make it look more natural. That's better. I actually think that her eyeliner could be a little bit darker. But I don't like the way that spot looks right there. Okay, yeah, I think it looks better like that. Makes her eyes stand out a little bit more. Now we're going to work on her eyelashes. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here, and we're going to make another layer. And we're going to call this one eyelashes. And for right now, we're going to leave that one at normal. You're going to use your paintbrush, same one we've been using, airbrush soft round 50% flow. And we're going to make this 2 pixels for right now till we see. We don't want to make the lashes too wide. Now you want to zoom in on your picture really good so you can see her eyelashes. And you're just going to draw little lines. We're using black for this as well. Don't worry about if they're not exactly perfect length, because after we get them done, we can go back with our eraser and adjust the eyelashes so they're even with each other. Right now we just want to get the lines true. Okay, and then you're going to do the bottom the same way. And we doubled up on that one, so let's back that up. Sometimes this is a little tedious and you have to really kind of play around with it until you get it looking the way you want it to look. Because sometimes it doesn't want to cooperate. See, what's great about this is you can erase what you did with the eraser, but you don't affect anything else that you've already done. That's why you continue to make layers. Now I'm going to show you what I was talking about. Now you can take your eraser and just go right here along the edge and just kind of round it off so they're all pretty even. Just like that. And I think we're going to do away with that one. And that one. Now I'm going to zoom out just so you can see how this looks. Now this is before we adjust the opacity on it. Okay, now we're going to work on the other eye. Okay, as you can see, we went ahead and finished the other eye. So what we're going to do now is we're going to come over here to the opacity, and we're going to back it up just a little bit, just to make it look a little more natural. This is before the mascara. This is after. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, last but not least, now we're going to work on her lips. We're not going to do anything to her eyebrows because her eyebrows look pretty good. So we're going to zoom back in so we can work on her mouth. And we're going to make another layer, and we're going to name this one lips. What I like to do is I like to take the lasso tool and just trace around the lips. This will kind of give you a guideline to use to paint your lips. She has very small lips, so this is going to be tricky. Okay, and I'm going to try to match the color that we used on her. Use like a maroonish color lipstick. It's gonna look like really dark right now, but when we get done with it, it's not gonna look like that. Okay, we're gonna come up here and use the same brush, and we're gonna make our brush just a little bit bigger, about 5 pixels. And you want to make sure to make this also soft light so it doesn't go on like really dark. I'll show you why. Because if you leave it normal, this is what it's going to look like. But if you make it soft light, then it kind of lightens it up some. And then you're just going to come around here and paint her lips. Now it's going to look kind of weird for a minute because we're going to touch it up. Just trying to get the basics of her lips. Okay, then we're going to use our magic wand to get rid of the line we selected. And then we're going to take our eraser and just edit this. Make it look a little better. Give her that little dip in her lip right there. Just a little bit more right there. And then we're going to take the opacity and back it up just a little bit so it looks a little more natural. And now, while we have this here, let's see, eyeshadow. We're going to take our eraser, try to fix her hair right here where we got the eye makeup in her hair. One thing I haven't learned how to do yet is to make the teeth whiter. That's the next thing that I'm going to learn how to do. And when I learn how to do it, I'll share that with you as well. Okay, let's see how she looks now. And there we have it. That's how you take the blemishes away and add makeup to an image. Thanks so much for watching today. Hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. Make sure you click that button down there and subscribe so you know when we have another video available. We'll see you next time.